Ibrahim Traoré, has unveiled a transformative economic plan aimed at directly employing 300,000 people. This initiative, with the potential to dismantle the West's century-old economic dominance, could significantly impact the entire African continent, even though some Western economists have dismissed it as unrealistic. Despite the skepticism, Traoré's bold vision is already showing results. His plan not only sets a new direction for Burkina Faso, but also introduces a model that could redefine the future of Africa as a whole. Widely considered the most ambitious development project of this century, the initiative challenges the economic structures established by former colonial powers. It does more than create jobs. It lays the groundwork for Africa's economic self-reliance. The strategy proposes sweeping reforms in the trade of raw materials, agricultural practices, and industrial policy, all traditionally influenced by Western interests. Experts describe the plan as nothing short of revolutionary. After 2 years of confidential preparation by Traoré's team, the full details of the plan have now been made public. Designed to make Burkina Faso self-reliant, the initiative is also sparking interest across the continent. At its core is a powerful idea. Africa's resources should benefit its own people. Traoré has taken decisive action to regain control over mineral deposits, farmlands, and forests, assets that have long been managed by foreign corporations. By pushing for a renegotiation of existing agreements with international firms, he is advocating for a more equitable distribution of national resources. These demands have caught many Western governments and companies off guard. France, in particular, has ramped up diplomatic efforts, concerned about the loss of its economic influence in its former colony. At last month's African Economic Summit in Ouagadougou, Traoré delivered a clear message to the global community. Africa's wealth must remain in Africa. The nervous expressions on the faces of Western diplomats and business leaders in attendance reflected the magnitude of the change underway. His words marked a turning point, challenging an economic order rooted in colonial history, a shift that countries profiting from Africa's resources for generations may find difficult to accept. As for funding the plan to create 300,000 jobs, Traoré is pursuing an unexpected strategy: the Burkina Faso leader's bold economic shift. The leader of Burkina Faso has adopted a surprising yet bold strategy, turning down loans from Western financial institutions in favor of using the country's own resources. Instead of relying on external funding, the plan is to channel revenues from the nation's gold mines directly into development projects. Dr. Amadou Diou Traoré, the president's economic advisor, explained, "For years, we had to sell our gold on the London Exchange, only to borrow money for much less than the actual value of that same gold. We're now putting an end to this cycle." This statement highlights the long-standing exploitation of Africa's natural wealth. A central focus of Traoré's plan is a significant overhaul of the agricultural sector. Large-scale irrigation projects have been launched to convert Burkina Faso's dry lands into fertile farming areas, aiming to boost food security. The recent delivery of 1,000 tractors and advanced farming tools marks a critical first step in this transformation. Fatima Ouedraogo, a representative from the Ministry of Agriculture, noted, "With this equipment, we can apply modern farming techniques across 150,000 hectares, directly employing around 100,000 people." As part of the initiative, new facilities will also be built to process agricultural raw materials, an essential component of what is being called the largest industrial project in West Africa. Facilities planned for processing high-value minerals, like gold, copper, and manganese, extracted from Burkina Faso's abundant reserves, are expected to create jobs for 50,000 people. Until now, these minerals have been exported in raw form and sold at prices significantly below their true worth. Processing and exporting them in-country could boost Burkina Faso's export revenue by as much as 5 times. This shift has raised concerns among Western mining firms and metal processing industries. While some Western economic analysts dismiss Traoré's initiative as overly ambitious, the financial backbone of the plan rests on firm ground. A 40% surge in gold production, over the past 3 years, and the direct allocation of mining revenues to the national treasury are key financial pillars supporting the initiative. Moreover, partnerships with non-Western countries such as China and Russia provide a buffer against Western economic pressure. These alliances are gradually weakening the dominance of Western economic influence across the continent. A cornerstone of Traoré's broader economic strategy is education reform. A newly launched program seeks to equip 50,000 young people with free vocational training in industrial and technological fields. The Technology and Innovation Center, recently established at the University of Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso's largest university, is set to become the most advanced educational facility in Africa. Professor Joseph Attara, the center's director, emphasizes that the youth trained here will lead Africa's technological advancement. He believes this initiative could significantly curb the ongoing brain drain from the continent. One of Traoré's more controversial decisions was declining an offer from Saudi Arabia to build 400 mosques in Burkina Faso. Instead, he proposed that the same funds be redirected to support industrial development. We already have mosques. What we lack are factories. Our priorities must be clear, he stated. This choice underscores Traoré's pragmatic leadership and his focus on economic progress above all else, though Western media have interpreted the move as being anti-Islamic. The people of Burkina Faso are standing behind the decision. As part of Traoré's employment initiative, the industrial sector is set to host Africa's first large-scale technology manufacturing centers. These facilities will produce a wide range of products, from computer chips to solar panels, from batteries for electric vehicles to smart tools for agriculture. This development is expected to create 70,000 jobs. A major focus will be on processing essential raw materials like lithium, cobalt, and rare earth elements, resources Africa has in abundance. By refining these materials locally, the country adds significant value to its natural resources. This move poses a challenge to the supply chains of major Western tech companies and is prompting many of them to rethink their investment strategies in Africa. The financial component of Traoré's plan for economic independence is also taking bold steps. One of the key actions underway is the development of a regional digital currency. This effort aims to free the West African Central Bank from its ties to the French Treasury. If successful, the initiative could mark the end of France's financial influence in the region. Economy Minister Hamidou Konaté emphasizes, "If we cannot control our currency, we cannot claim true independence." This pursuit of financial autonomy could be a defining moment, not only for Burkina Faso, but for all West African nations. A new economic partnership network has been formed between Burkina Faso and neighboring countries, laying the groundwork for a regional economic bloc. Trade agreements with Mali, Niger, Ghana, and Côte d'Ivoire aim to boost trade within the region and reduce dependence on Western markets. These agreements are also projected to create 50,000 jobs in logistics and commerce. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who shares a name with the iconic Pan-African leader and now chairs the Regional Economic Cooperation Commission, stated, "Africa's wealth must circulate within Africa." Burkina Faso's energy plans are equally ambitious. The country is launching projects in solar, biomass, and hydroelectric energy to secure energy independence and provide 30,000 new jobs. Solar energy, in particular, is expected to transform the lives of millions in rural communities who still lack access to electricity. Jean-Baptiste Zungrana, a senior official at the Ministry of Energy, explained, "Our goal is to deliver clean and dependable energy to 90% of our population within 5 years. This clean energy push is also foundational to the nation's broader industrial plans." On the infrastructure front, Traoré's initiatives aim to upgrade transportation and communication networks across the country. Plans include building 5,000 kilometers of new roads, 200 kilometers of railways, and a national digital communication system. These projects are set to create 50,000 jobs. Infrastructure Minister Issoufou Compaoré highlighted the importance of these efforts, stating, "Modern infrastructure is the backbone of a modern economy. These investments will be the arteries of our economic system." Traoré has also declined loan offers from Western financial institutions to fund these infrastructure developments. Burkina Faso is increasingly collaborating with non-traditional partners such as China and Russia. While some Western media outlets dismiss Traoré's strategy as impractical populism, the initial stages of his plan are already underway. A newly launched agricultural machinery production facility, operational since last month, is expected to reduce the country's reliance on imported equipment by up to 60%. At the facility's inauguration, Traoré stated, "We have the ability to produce our own tools. We were never given the chance before. Now, we are creating it ourselves." This message encapsulates Traoré's broader philosophy of self-reliance. His economic vision has begun to inspire neighboring African nations as well. The governments of Mali, Niger, and Guinea have introduced similar strategies aimed at economic autonomy. This growing movement poses a challenge to the long-standing economic influence of Western powers on the continent. Dr. Françoise Dubois of the International Institute for Strategic Studies notes that if this trend continues, it could potentially reshape the global economic framework. One of the notable social pillars of Traoré's plan is its emphasis on women's employment. The initiative aims for women to make up at least 40% of the total workforce. To support this, specialized funding and training programs are being provided for female entrepreneurs. According to Issata Zongo, Minister of Women's Rights and Family Affairs, women are the foundation of our economy. Lasting economic change is impossible without empowering them. This focus also indicates a broader shift in traditional social norms across Africa. In addition, the plan introduces reforms to the financial system through microcredit programs and cooperative banking. These models are designed to improve access to funding for small-scale producers and entrepreneurs. The objective is to help establish around 100,000 small businesses. Financial expert Dr. Aminata Dio highlights that this model offers an alternative to Western-imposed credit terms while ensuring that profits remain within local communities. This financial shift directly challenges the influence of traditional Western banks. Healthcare reforms are also part of the strategy, aiming to boost both employment and public well-being. By establishing research centers focused on local medicinal plants and pharmaceutical production units, the initiative could create jobs for up to 20,000 people. Merging Africa's rich heritage in herbal medicine with modern science, the goal is to cut dependency on imported pharmaceuticals. Health Minister Dr. Paul Kabore affirms, "We are capable of producing our own medicines for our own needs." This strategy poses a significant challenge to the dominance of Western pharmaceutical companies in Africa. Traoré's educational reforms seek to replace the conventional Western-centric curriculum with a more Africa-focused approach. The new system emphasizes local languages, African history and culture, and hands-on skills. Education Minister Stanislas Owaro explains, "We are teaching our children about their own realities and strengths." This reform not only employs 30,000 educators and support staff, but also aims to nurture generations rooted in their cultural identity, free from external ideological influence. The plan also extends into media. Steps have been taken to launch a national digital media platform and develop an Africa-focused news network. This initiative could provide employment to 10,000 media professionals. Communication Minister Emmanuel Sanon asserts, "It's time. We tell our own stories. Africa's image shouldn't be shaped by Western media." This strategy offers a counterbalance to the narrative dominance of Western news outlets in the region. Burkina Faso is also making significant investments in its cultural industries. A significant initiative is underway. Plans are in motion to build film studios, music production centers, and digital art labs. These creative hubs are expected to generate employment for around 20,000 artists and cultural professionals. According to Culture Minister Abdul Karim Sango, Africa's cultural diversity can be leveraged to build economic strength. This cultural industry strategy is designed to reinforce African identity while also delivering economic benefits. One of Traoré's most visionary initiatives is the creation of Africa's first locally owned automobile manufacturing plant. The facility is set to produce electric and solar-powered vehicles and aims to create 20,000 direct jobs. Industry Minister Haruna Kabore states, "Africa will have its own car. We're developing a sustainable and cost-effective model." This project challenges the long-standing dominance of Western car manufacturers in the region and focuses on nurturing local engineering talent. Tourism also plays a vital role in Traoré's economic autonomy plan. Ecotourism initiatives, showcasing the country's natural landscapes and cultural heritage, are expected to offer jobs to 15,000 people. Tourism Minister Elisa Theomiano emphasizes that, by promoting Africa's treasures globally, will ensure tourism revenue benefits local communities. This model presents an alternative to conventional tourism, often dominated by foreign tour operators. Food security is another cornerstone of the strategy, aiming to reduce reliance on imports by boosting domestic agricultural production. Through advanced farming techniques, seed banks, and food processing facilities, the plan has the potential to create 50,000 jobs. Agriculture and Food Security Minister Salifu Adrago explains, "A self-reliant food system is key to economic freedom." This effort directly contests the influence of Western agribusinesses in African markets. Traoré's environmental and climate policy combines development with sustainability. It aims to provide employment for 25,000 people through reforestation, anti-desertification measures, and renewable energy investments. Environment and Sustainable Development Minister Batio Bassière notes, "Although Africa faces the harshest in climate challenges, it can also lead the way in solutions." This vision promotes a green economic model as an alternative to development approaches traditionally promoted by Western powers. The broader economic independence plan proposed by Traoré has sparked significant global attention. While it faces criticism from Western governments and financial institutions, it has garnered strong backing from other African nations and developing countries. The United Nations Secretary-General described the plan as both courageous and visionary. This growing international support boosts the credibility of Traoré's initiative and offers some protection from external economic pressures. Early results from Traoré's plan, which aims to create 300,000 jobs, are already being seen, with 5,000 people currently employed. 10 agricultural processing centers that opened last month have already employed thousands. Over the next 6 months, an additional 50,000 jobs are expected to be created. Economic analyst Dr. Jag Sanogo sees these early developments as promising. Critics who call Traoré's plan unrealistic overlook the clear, tangible progress already made. These initial successes demonstrate the plan's viability and have strengthened public backing. One of the most powerful psychological impacts of Traoré's plan for economic independence is the message it sends to African nations. We can do it. For a continent long labeled as underdeveloped and reliant on external help, this shift has sparked a much-needed sense of confidence. According to sociologist Dr. Marek Konate, the plan represents more than just economic reform. It marks a psychological turning point, helping to restore belief in Africa's ability to chart its own future. This renewed self-confidence may in fact be the most valuable outcome of the initiative. However, the plan also faces serious obstacles, particularly from economic and diplomatic pressure applied by Western powers. Former colonial nations, especially France, are employing various tactics to safeguard their interests. These include threats of embargoes, suspension of international funding, and media smear campaigns. Despite this, Traoré remains resolute, stating, "We are ready to pay the price for Africa's independence." His firm stance continues to rally support across the continent. The plan is also boosting economic collaboration in West Africa. New agreements with Mali, Niger, Ghana, and Côte d'Ivoire are laying the groundwork for a regional economic bloc. With a combined population exceeding 100 million and vast natural wealth, this bloc has the potential to emerge as a major economic force. Dr. Emmanuel Nana, chair of the Regional Economic Cooperation Committee, describes this as a potential turning point in Africa's pursuit of economic self-reliance. This push for regional unity also challenges the West's long-standing strategy of division. and control. One of the key sources of support for Traoré's plan comes from the African diaspora. Professionals, scientists, and business leaders of African descent are returning to contribute to Burkina Faso's transformation. This reversal of the brain drain brings valuable expertise and helps build the technical capacity needed for lasting change. Minister of Diaspora Affairs Maxime Coney notes that Africa's children are coming home, ready to shape the continent's future. This movement directly counters Western policies that have historically encouraged the migration of African talent abroad. In summary, Ibrahim Traoré's initiative to create 300,000 jobs could shape not only the future of Burkina Faso, but the entire African continent. This plan boldly challenges the West's centuries-old economic dominance and marks a fresh chapter in Africa's journey toward independence. Though still in its early stages, the initial results are encouraging. If Traoré's vision comes into life, Africa could redefine its global role and finally secure its rightful place in the world economy. The road ahead will be tough and demanding, but as Traoré affirms, we are ready to pay the price for Africa's independence. Because real freedom begins with economic freedom.